I'm going to switch topics because I saw this on your website. We didn't really talk about it before. PAGA, which I haven't seen in a while. So walk us through it. Like, tell us whatever you know. You can talk about however you want to talk about this. It could be a case study, could be how you've dealt with it, however you advise employers. Feel free to explain whatever you like.
So I'll start off with a funny story about PAGA. Or I think it's funny. It's a lawyer's funny story. So
I'll find it funny. That's interesting.
Yeah, we'll see if it's funny. So I actually was having a mandatory settlement conference for a PAGA case, and the judge that we'd gone to see it, he didn't really handle employment cases, but he'd been assigned to the case, and he was trying to understand it as best as possible. And he just kept asking me, he's like, I don't get it. What is PAGA? Like, I keep trying to understand this and it doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, well, it's like a class action, but without any of the work involved in a class action. And he just sort of stared at me and he's like, wait, what? That's a terrible idea. And I'm like, yes, I agree. This is a terrible, terrible law. So, and that's basically what PAGA is. It allows you to make the same sort of wage and hour class action claims that you would make in a traditional wage and hour class action, but you don't have to establish a class in the same way. You don't have to prove up the class rep or that the class counsel is competent. You don't have to do any of those normal things. You don't have to certify a class, and yet you get to bring a class action. And so it's a very frustrating one because you don't have all the normal procedures to sort of kick out a case like this. So it basically has to be resolved either on a motion for summary judgment or a trial, because you can't just get it done if there's not enough people. You can also have a PAGA class that is essentially, a handful of people. You don't have to meet the class numerosity requirements. So that's also very frustrating. And your class rep can be they can be a terrible class rep, like only a portion of the class would be represented by them normally, or they're not appropriate for a class rep, but they can still bring a PAGA case. And what's also incredibly frustrating for me with PAGA cases is that so little money actually goes to the employees. So you have a PAGA settlement, the attorneys get their fees and costs taken out of it. So usually about a third or so of the PAGA settlement. And then of that portion that's left, 75% goes to the state, and then 25% goes to the PAGA recipients. So they'll sometimes end up getting like pennies, basically. And so it's not a great system at all because it doesn't really get back to the employees, which is the people who have allegedly had their rights violated or haven't been paid properly. So it's an incredibly frustrating process. So I'm not a PAGA supporter, but you pretty much are starting to see them tapped onto any wage and hour claim, even if it's just an individual wage and hour claim, and onto most class action wage and hour claims as well.